This Angel Kabonu is the president of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. Teachers are the supervisors. Ghana National, the national NAGRAT Ghana National Association of Graduate Teachers. I beg your pardon. That's Angel Kabonu. Teachers generally are the supervisors of the schools, together with the headmasters and all. Let's speak to him and see what he knows about this and what he thinks the problem is. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. What do you know about this? Of course, we've had some information from the parents and from other persons in the school, but given that you are a union leader, what do you know about the situation now?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Solomon, which town in the Volta region do you come from?
Anyway, I'll tell you that later. If we can just proceed.
I want to arrange you before your village.
I'm sorry. I come from Juja, but I'm sorry. Okay, forgive me.
Because the name of the union is National Association of Graduate Teachers.
I know. A lot of things happen here. I'm sorry. The National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT.
But
Thank you.
I'll also arrange you before that.
I will plead.
Yes, Solomon, it's a very sad and unfortunate development. A father sees his son off to school in the morning, only to go and see the son dead in the evening. It's a very traumatic experience, especially when this boy is writing his final exam.
I see.
Yes. It's a very sad development. But you see, what is the security situation in the school as we speak? What authority do teachers exude or do teachers have in the school? What liberties do school authorities together with their teachers have in ensuring that the school environment is an environment that ensures harmony and peace for all manner of students? Let us not forget, these boys and girls come from different social backgrounds and different families. They are raised differently. We have children who come from parentage who are in full control. And we also have children who, one can say, hardly have any parental control or supervision. But they are all in the school environment. So the school authorities will need to institute measures to ensure that regardless of where you come from, regardless of the social background that you have or how your society is formed in, there are strict rules and regulations that ensures conformity of all manner of students. Unfortunately, whenever teachers want to exact these conformity rules, then a certain group of people who, I don't know, let me not use any expression that will create any problem, but some people come and talk about human rights as if the teacher does not know what human rights are. Sometimes when we go and take some financial support from some bunch of international NGOs, then we forget that we need to establish rules and regulations that are attuned to the realities of our environment. Don't do this. Don't do this. When you talk to the student like that, you are creating psychological injury to the student. So as if to create the impression that whenever the students do wrong, we should kiss them and pat them at the back and tell them that they can continue. So the school environment is continuously becoming a place where students are beginning to become unruly. And this is one of, because why do you enter school premises as a candidate with sharp objects, with the intention of doing what? With the intention of causing injury.
It's quite curious though, because I mean, if you don't carry knife and other weapons to school, I don't know if this has become normal. But doesn't that suggest, because we hear that some of them belong to gangs, etc. Doesn't this suggest that there could be gangs on campus which may, often, engage in fights, etc., to establish one superiority over the other?
Oh, yes. We have people who congregate around themselves as friends, and then it begins to grow. The activities begin to become offensive and obnoxious. Another group also congregate around. Sometimes maybe a group of students coming from one different area and the other, forming what they call gangs. And like I said, it starts as friends and it metamorphoses into gangs and so on and so forth. But like I said, the reason why a student will come to school with a weapon is just because either he has the mentality of protecting himself from equally armed students, or he has the intention to commit injury on another person. And it is not an isolated case to Raleigh. I mean, this is gradually. You recall a few years ago, students finished their WASE exam and they benched the dormitory. They finished the WASE exam and they benched the dormitory. So we have cases all over.
So for you don't think there's an indictment on supervision, the supervisors of the students? You're blaming it on the system.
The supervisor needs to have the authority to command and to implement the supervisory role. The supervisors, and in this case the teachers, need to have the power to isolate from the generality anyone whose presence is causing discomfort for the majority. Look, Salom, when I was in school, Pope John's Secondary School, when I was in school, when you run away to town without permission, immediately you are debordinized. When I was in school and you fight, you will be dismissed. And this one, there was no Ghana Education Service or anything. No. So you know, before you enter the school. You enter the school, the rules of the school are read to you. And if you want to remain part of that school, you don't have a choice than to conform to the rules and regulations of the school.
And the counter argument is that these kids are young, and when they find themselves in conflict with the law or the rules, in this sense, you don't exact punishment on them that may likely destroy their lives. You do what is in their best interest, what we call the welfare principle. So, is that not a consideration, or shouldn't that be the consideration? So a kid goes out of school, goes to town, you find him, and then you dismiss him from school. I mean, who knows what the consequences of that dismissal will have on his future? That is the consideration, is it not?
This approach is Western, utopian, and fallacious thinking. This approach. Look, let me tell you. We all went to school. I went to secondary school after class 6. I left my home in Medina and was taken as a little boy at the age of 10, 11 to secondary school, far away from my parents. I stayed in secondary school for 7 good years, and I survived it. As to whether I turn out good or bad, you be the judge. But I survived it.
But we also know people who are very recalcitrant in school, but they've come out well. So if such people, for example, were dismissed, what would have become of them?
So when you are dismissed from Pope John for that misbehavior, or from Prempe or Aximota for that misbehavior, the doors of education are not closed to you entirely. The system allowed you to go to another school, and then you sign a bond of good behavior, And people did not want to go through that second experience. They went to other schools and turned out to be very good. You see, it is a system that you need to create. There are some children without experiencing the heat of law will never conform. They'll never conform. Now, look, one student can cause. There's a school here in Accra. When we were in secondary school, the boys in those days decided to organize themselves and enter the girls' dormitory to cause something they call mass raping. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
The school is here in Accra. I just don't want to mention names of the school because some people are very emotionally attached to their school. But that was around 19. I think that was in the all those boys were given summarily dismissal. That situation never occurred in that school again.
I see. You have been a teacher for a long time. You've been a union leader for a long time. What will be your two prescriptions to resolving this indiscipline in schools? Two.
Oh, for me, the authority of the teachers must be restored. Shalom. My father is an Anglo man and a former teacher. And you know what I'm talking about. That combination is not too good a combination. And his word was law until we were 21. And he said that when you happen to be on your own, maybe you have to start preparing to leave my house. I have been given the responsibility to raise you. And raise you. It is not by mistake that God gave you to me. Our children and our students are not our friends. They are not our co-equals. We are their teachers. In fact, we are in locus parentis. You lawyers, that's what we have been saying. They are not our friends. You see, it is because of these familiarities and things like that you have a situation where some teachers and students have become overly familiar to the extent that there are sexual cases and so on and so forth. You came to school for me to teach you. You came to school for me to put you on the right path. If you knew how to be on the right path, you have no business being in the school environment. I have experimented it, and it has worked. Give me a set of stubborn boys and allow me to implement the rules as I know it. And let's see the outcome.
I see. Very well. Thanks so much, Angel Carbonu, President of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, for speaking to us on this unfortunate or sad incident.